on Havana or Favela, what was it?
Cast your mind back to when you were younger. Think of your younger days and your adolescent stage you were in. Or maybe you're at the adolescent stage now. What were your hopes, your dreams and your aspirations career-wise? Or what are they now? What do you aspire to do when you leave school or go to college or university? Maybe you don't know. Or maybe a career path is set out for you. Maybe your university education will lead to that degree in sociology, and therefore map out your career path exactly how you want it. You see, most people in life, they have aspirations and dreams but never quite follow it through. I mean, for example, the carpenter might have wanted to have been a traffic warden. The traffic warden might have wanted to have been a doctor. The doctor might have wanted to have been a fireman. And the fireman might have wanted to have been a spaceman. All of these different people with different career paths that went in the wrong direction. Yes, certainly now they're making their money and doing well. But they're not happy because they always knew they could do something better. Like when they were younger and they were playing with the empty cleaned out washing up bottle, flying it around the living room and reaching it up to the ceiling as if it was flying into space, thinking to themselves, one day I'm going to walk on the moon, I'm going to discover alternate universes. Or maybe the young guy who's working as a dentist, who every day as he's pulling out teeth just daydreams that he could have been fighting for the special forces. He could one day have been stuck in a situation in Bosnia where he'd completely run out of ammunition and there was 25 insurgents heading towards him. So using his stealth and skill, he takes out the entire enemy unit using only his sleeping bag. All these different opportunities, but your life's mapped out to do something different, because that's what the people tell you should do. But for me it was kind of different. You see, when I was younger, I always wanted to be a porn star. Yes, a porn star. I mean, imagine it. It's the ideal career path. You basically get paid to have sex. That's just the most amazing thing you could ever imagine in your entire life. Earning great privileges and getting paid top dollar to have sex with the most beautifully silicon-enhanced dummies in life. I mean, can you honestly imagine turning up late for work in that kind of trade? Oh, I'm ever so sorry I'm late. Traffic. Whew. It just wouldn't happen, would it? You'd be there on time. You'd be there 2 hours earlier. Yeah, I wanted to get in early. In fact, you wouldn't even go home. What are you still doing here? Well, I could have gone home and watched a movie, but I thought I'd stay here and get some work done. Can you also imagine the amount of overtime you'd be putting in? Is there any overtime available, boss? Yes, there is a little bit, yeah. Why, are you up for it? Well, I was going to go home and I decided I might as well stay on for a few hours and get done that Lithuanian volleyball team. I've been meaning to get into them for a bit, so at least I can get my teeth stuck in and that's finished. Honestly, you're a workaholic, you are. It's just a no-brainer. But you see, the funny thing is, and this is as true as the days my daughter was born, I had an opportunity to do this. I'll tell you a little story if you're sitting comfortably. Yes? Then I'll begin. 11 years ago I made a decision to move down south. Living where I'm living now in the central, I was getting in a lot of trouble with the law and various other things, so I wanted to better myself and get away from the problems. So I moved down south to the quaint city of Southampton. Here it's very villagey in places, and there's sea, and there's sand, and there's all sorts of lovely tourist attractions. But unfortunately the work for a builder was kind of drying up a little bit out there because the recession was creeping in. But it was one day walking along and I looked in a little quaint shop window like something from Ballamore, and I noticed an advertisement in there stuck in the window. And it says, "Males and females wanted for adult work. Please apply within." Well, this sounds interesting. But you see, back then I was a young, fit, fighting 22-year-old, carved out of stone, chiselled by a woodsman, training every single day. And I considered myself to be a bit of a pretty boy. Even though I wasn't, I was quite deluded, to be honest with you. So I took this phone number down. I went home and phoned it up. And as I cast my mind back, it went something along the lines of this. "Hello, X-Connections." I think that was the name of the company. "Oh yes, I'm just calling regarding your advertisement for adult models wanted." "Yes, that's right. Let me just tell you a little bit about ourselves. We are an amateur adult film company." I'm sorry, can you repeat that? Yes, I said we are an amateur adult film company. Basically what we're doing is we're trying to get the production rights in process as we speak, so we're trying to recruit as many actors as possible. Does that sound like something you'd be interested in? Clearly this woman had just answered all my prayers. Yes, definitely. So, after 5 minutes of handing out my credentials to her, she hung up the phone. I did too. and I think for about 5 minutes I pumped the air with my fist and done the jig round the house, as I'd finally met my true calling. However, she told me I'd passed the phone interview test, and the next stage was to await their call, where they'd send me out an application form. So anyway, cut a long story short, 2-3 months went by and I heard nothing. And to be honest with you, I'd kind of forgotten about it and the shine had got off it. But after a few beers one night, I found this number in my wallet and I decided to give it a call again. It was the same lady. Ah yes, let me have a look. Yep, there's your details. Alan, that's right. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, I've been meaning to get round to calling all of my people. Our production rights look like they're going to be ready in the next 2 weeks. So if you just sit tight, you'll receive an application form from ourselves. Well, that's great news. Thanks very much. I've been holding out for this. So anyway, a couple more months passed by, and by this time I'd completely forgotten. And I'd already met my long-suffering wife but then girlfriend at this time. And we were in the moonlight stages of dating with our rose-tinted goggles on, walking around hand in hand, looking at each other in love. And one day from a nice day at the seaside we returned home. While we were chatting as she walked through the door, I picked up the pile of mail that was on the step. Bill, you have won a holiday. Bill, oh, what's this big brown envelope? 2 big brown envelopes. And while we were in mid-conversation, I opened up the letter, and to my horror there it was in big bold writing on the front of this letter. Ex-connections, lust in money. I think I may have personally probably pooed myself a little bit, as I quickly shoved it back into the envelope. But you see, the thing is, my wife isn't stupid. She's a businesswoman, for God's sake. And the thing is with business people is they're generally good at poker because they get to sense reactions out of people, thus telling them how they're going to act on the next deal or what the next move will be. And from my face it can only have spelt out pure horror. So she proceeded to continue the conversation as I opened the rest of my mail and got to the second brown envelope. Ex-connections, lust for Jesus Christ, it's a second copy. They must have sent me out 2 by accident. So I quickly shoved this one back in the envelope. And while we were talking, tried to subtly put it back in the drawer. Out of sight, out of mind, never to be known about. But the funny thing is, little did I know that when I went downstairs to make us a nice drink, she sneaked over and checked in the drawer and found these 2 application forms. And lucky for me, I'd found a top woman at the time because she thought it was more hilarious and proceeded to text her friend telling her about the porn star boyfriend, probably laughing in the knowledge that she thinks she's dating the new Rocco Siffredi. No chance. But I mean, wow. What a change of events my life could have taken had I filled out that application form. I mean, to be fair, the money wasn't great. And in English money, I remember exactly what it was. It was £100 a day, plus royalties made on each film. But then again, when you think of the size of the porn industry as it is, I could have been a millionaire. I could have been living on a yacht, sipping champagne with former Miss Worlds, a vast collector of popular expensive cars, a mansion to live in. I mean, can you honestly imagine phoning in sick for work with a job like that? Hello, boss. Yeah, I can't come in for work today. It's this cold. I think I've got this virus that's going about. Yeah, I don't feel very good. I'm really annoyed, to be honest with you, but I'll catch up with everything next week. Doctor told me to rest up, yeah. No strenuous activity, so unfortunately those 7 Ukrainian midgets are going to have to wait. Yeah, okay. You plenty of bed rest and fluids, I know. Okay, take care, give my love to the girls. No chance. Anyway, enough said about that. Hindsight is a wonderful thing. Wait a minute. If I remember rightly, I think that application form is still in the loft. I've got to go, guys. I'll see you later.